The following program is made possible with the support of
Papa John's Pizza, better ingredients, better pizza.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sports Roundtable. Well, it's Thanksgiving weekend, and there are just a very few number of teams still on the field, and among that number, the Hanover Vikings. And Coach, I know you're pleased through the first couple of rounds.
Yeah.
Big challenge this week.
Absolutely. Very pleased looking back on what we've been able to accomplish so far, particularly the first two rounds of the playoffs. Played a very dangerous South Central team in the first round and thought we did a really good job of dominating them early. In Cape Fear, the second round game, we had a 9-win Fayetteville team, which I think says a lot, implies a lot. And our guys really played well. I thought defensively we did an outstanding job of shutting down a pretty athletic group of guys. Offensively early, not a great job of blocking, yet we're very blessed to have a very gifted running back in Keevan Thompson. I'm sure we'll see a highlight here in a little while where he takes a busted play and goes about 50 yards for a touchdown. And able to put some big plays together during the course of the first quarter, first half, and somehow, without really feeling like we were dominating the game, particularly the line of scrimmage, at halftime it's 28-0, and from there we came out first drive of the second half and scored, make it 35-0, and then kind of shifted gears a little bit, more conscious of running the clock. But again, both sides of the ball, special teams, offensively, I think we had the ball for 31 minutes out of the 48, which is kind of one of our goals. Defensively, a lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of turnovers in there. And then special teams-wise, I thought we did a great job there as well. That's what we're going to have this week, because when you talk about Scotland County, you're talking about one of the best programs in the state. You know, before we came on air, you and I were talking about perennial powers, just year in, year out. They're always strong. And this year's no exception. They're as athletic of a team as we've seen. They've got exceptional speed on both sides of the ball and in special teams. We'll have to play. You know, we talked to our guys about our goal being the perfect game and how we'll never play the perfect game, but that's our goal. And the margin for error is, you know, a lot smaller as we go against Scotland. Against some teams on our schedule, we can be, you know, less than sharp and still come out on top. This Friday night, we could play a really good game and still lose the game. And so it's real important for us to have a great week of preparation, great practice. We're kind of challenged. We've had a lot of rain. Yesterday's practice, today they're calling for more rain. Tomorrow they're calling for more rain. And so that's going to be a challenge. Can we get quality preparation in, you know, despite the weather?
Okay, let's take a look at some highlights then if we can. Cape Fear. And, you know, you've said it a number of times, when the weather turns cold, you've got to be able to run the football.
Yeah, you do. I think it really helps. And if you can establish some dominance early, a lot of times those visiting teams on a cold night want to get on the bus and go home. I think a little bit of that happened against South Central, and I think the same here. Great linebacker play all year long. Julius Reynolds, Jeremiah Andrews there on the play, just doing a great job, playing with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. That was something we were a little worried about. Didn't have a great crowd. It's a cold night. The season's a long season, and so you kind of worry, what's the mentality of the football team? This is a good group of guys and great leadership. Again, you can see defensive front, very pleased with our defensive front. Big question mark coming into the year, and yet those guys have done an outstanding job. Larry Rouse, Omar Jones, Will Dykes, Tony Moore, Hashim Michelle in particular. Here's Keevan making something out of nothing, had a busted assignment there and did not block the strong safety. And Keevan's able to kind of ricochet off of that and get a couple blocks on the backside and take it into the end zone. That's one of those where it's not the way you drew it up, but you'll take it. Again, you're very fortunate to coach a young man like Keevan Thompson. Great football player and also just a delight to be around and coach. Great job there. Hashim Michelle kind of setting the edge and turning it back inside. Jeremiah Andrews and Julius Reynolds coming up. I thought in the secondary we played real well. There again, linebacker play. You know, Jeremiah and Julius continue just to go make tackles for losses. Several turnovers are in this game that allowed us to get some great field position as well. Now here we are here, going to do a little drop back pass. Austin under pressure, throws a great ball. Harrison Smith's done a great job for us all year. Goes up, brings it down, kind of bobbles it, gets hit, but concentrates and is able to make the catch. Huge first down there, 3rd and 12, big first down. We're able to then the next play out or 2 plays later do a little quarterback keeper, a little counter action. We run that really well, power. Austin does a great job of taking it down inside the 10-yard line. I think Austin had over, in our stat book, had over 120 yards rushing on Friday night. So he continues to do a good job and shows himself to be a weapon. Here we are, a little speed option to Keevan. Again, not great blocking, but Keevan's able to go get some yards for us. Nick Clay, Harrison Smith, Brandon Candair, it's not Brandon Candair, excuse me, Tristan Candair. I coached his older brother, Brandon. Here's a little bootleg pass. We tried to do a lot of boots the last couple of weeks. That's going to be to Evan Allegray, and Evan does a great job after the catch. He catches what is about a 5-yard gain and turns it into a touchdown for us. Very pleased with our special teams. Coach Underwood continues to do just an outstanding job with these guys. Caleb Kuhn kicking off. Carter Hinton's our punter, and he holds on extra points. Those guys do a great job. You see some guys really getting down the field there. Really impressed with the effort. We're able to kick that ball and pin them deep and create that field position advantage that we're looking for all game long. They get it out to midfield. Hashim Michelle, just great athletic play there. Kind of takes the dive and then comes back to quarterback. William Candair there, I thought he played his best game as a Hoggard Viking Friday night. Had to come in and play for the injured Mason Whitlow. Got a lot of reps and did a great job for us there. Very important guys this time of year. Step up, make plays. Obviously, great coverage downfield. Quarterback's first and second looks are covered. He ends up throwing deep. Robert Pigford, we had to move him from safety to corner. In about 1 week's notice, Robert just did an outstanding job for us. You see the penetration there, pressure on the quarterback. And we've got guys there making plays and getting a pick. Part of that's the pressure of the front, and part of that's great coverage in the secondary. So just great team defense as we play there. Here's a little great job there. Again, William Candair coming across, making the tackle, doing a great job. We're going to get a turnover out of the deal, and we come back, and obviously with a short field, we're going to come out and run a little kind of play side zone to the tight end with the H-back folding back in and cleaning things up. We had a lot of just 5 to 8 yard runs during the course of the game. A lot of 2nd and 5s and 2nd and 2s. Makes it easy as a play caller when that's the schedule you're on. Here we are kind of trying to lighten the box up with this formation and coming back and run a little trap. And Keevan does a great job of taking it right down by the goal line, and we're able to punch it in from there later and score. Still first half action here. Again, defensively doing a great job. Kind of just really concerned about the athleticism of the quarterback, and yet you can see we've got guys on him almost all night long. Kind of got into this bunch set, the little toss sweep. Keevan, I think, is just a natural eye back, tail back, toss sweep guy. Has great vision, great hips, and really has a good feel for that play. He probably runs it better than we coach it, but that's, again, a credit to him. We're able to drive the ball here late in the half and kind of blow the game open. As opposed to 14-0 at the half, being able to go in 28 is huge. There's a big play to Hunter Louth, and the quarterback also showing really threaded the needle on that one. Hunter does a great job of taking it inside the 10-yard line, and that ended up leading to points as well, a little short touchdown. Again, you see the D front. Again, a question mark going into the year, and yet we've really got 5 guys. We spin through there quite a bit, and those 5 guys just did an outstanding job for us all night long. And you see there's Julius Reynolds. Julius, if it's inside the tackle box, there's a good chance that he's going to make the play.
Okay, let's take a look at some dynamics for this Friday. You go play Scotland County, who comes in that historically you think D1 scholarship, D1 scholarship.
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, you're unbeaten, but it's almost like Scotland's coming in with a much higher profile.
No doubt about it. I mean, that's a program that year in, year out. I mean, last year they played for the state championship, got beaten. They won a state championship probably 4 or 5 years ago. We'd like to think we're in that conversation in terms of best programs in the East. Newbern, Scotland, I think always come up. We'd like to think we're in that conversation. I think our guys are really excited to play. Yesterday at practice, in fact, when I got to work yesterday, I had a note on my desk from about 4 players signed up just about how excited they were. Too excited to practice was the joke, but yet the message was we're ready to play, we're excited. And I think that is throughout our team. They sense that this is going to be a great night. you know, they make movies about Friday Night Lights and they have TV shows about Friday Night Lights, and now our guys are going to get to live Friday Night Lights this Friday night. It's going to be a tremendous setting for high school football. The atmosphere is going to be off the charts. I've already been told that their people will start showing up and tailgating in our parking lot at 4:30. We gave them 1,000 tickets to sell. They were calling, asking if maybe they could get another 500. What we don't want to have happen is more Scotland people in our stadium than there are Hoggard people and Wilmington people. So this is a great opportunity for the whole community to come out and support a really good football team, and maybe just as important, just a really good group of kids. These guys have been excellent on and off the field, in the classroom, well-behaved, well-mannered, and I think they won the Sportsmanship Award in our conference, so they've handled themselves really well in all facets, and this is a good group for our community to get behind, and I encourage everybody to come out.
Before we talk about ticket sales for a second, this year basically you really haven't had to play deep into a game.
Right.
I mean, I know you said you're impressed with how
Right.
mature this group is.
Absolutely.
That's going to be uncharted waters for them.
It is. We've talked to our guys a lot, kind of anticipating that really week one of the playoffs and week two as well. And both weeks, I guess the guys kind of made liars out of us because it was a 28-0 score at halftime, or even more than that against South Central. I think we've talked about it to our guys in terms of being ready to play all 48 minutes and overtime. Again, a pretty mature group, great leadership. We anticipate that kind of game this Friday night. In fact, our feeling is if we can have it close going into the fourth quarter, that we're going to win the game, just because I think we're built for that type of game. And so that's our goal, is to get that game into the fourth quarter close. And then I think our bodies, we have some size advantage, particularly on offense. I think our bodies could start to wear on them as the fourth quarter progresses.
Advanced tickets are available.
Advanced tickets are available. Encourage everybody to come out. Hoggard High School by Wednesday at 12 noon. Mrs. Patricia Kidd in the main office is selling those tickets. There are going to be some long lines there Friday night. You don't want to miss the kickoff. I know they're going to have a big crowd there, and a lot of their folks will be unable to buy pre-sale tickets in Laurinburg, so I know they're going to show up at our gate wanting tickets. So be some long lines. Really advise you to try and get those tickets early if you can.
Mentioned Friday Night Lights. Great atmosphere, huge game. Support Hoggard, support area high school football. Again, it's Friday night, Scotland County, 7:30 kickoff. We'll see you in the stadium. And we'll continue on right after this.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent, because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you.
Almost half of all parents who suspect their child has a problem learning wait a year or more before getting them help. Why? When there's so much they could be achieving. Kids with learning disabilities are smart. They just learn differently. Call or visit us on the web now.
May I have your attention, please? Would the owner of the spare tire, slightly hairy, with a little brown mole to the left of the belly button, it's an innie. Please report to the press box and retrieve your appendage. Oh, they must have lost this parking further away from the stadium and walking in. Yeah. Okay, we're back to the action.
You definitely have to have nerves of steel.
I would not trade this for anything.
You wake up and you don't want to do it, but once you're into it, it's hard to stop.
And we welcome you back to the program. Let's switch gears and talk a little holiday basketball season. As indeed it's that transition time, a little football, a lot of basketball. Coach Brett Queen alongside, and we want to talk specifically about the once again the Leon Brogdon Holiday Basketball Tournament. But you know, as a coach, let's talk about the dynamic that a number of you guys have gone through. When football season ends, you've already started practice. It's catch-up time, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah, we actually started practice this year when the football team still had 2 regular season games left, and so. You know, we're pretty used to it at Hoggard, the football team making deep playoff runs, and so I try to wait as long as I possibly can before we start playing games. But you know, right now we're missing almost half our team. I have 6 of our 14 players that are playing football, and you know, some other kids that are JV basketball players that are still out there playing football. So we're doing the best we can right now. But it definitely transition period when they get back, whenever that does happen.
Talk a little bit about the Holiday Basketball Tournament. Once again, I know it's very popular with a number of teams from outside the area. You always have a waiting list. You've got to be pleased with this year's field.
Yeah, I think it's a good group. You know, we had a very strong field last year. You know, really good on both sides, and it does attract a lot of attention. Teams enjoy coming here, and you know, they spread the word. Teams want to come back. And then also, you know, people hear about it, and so there's always people calling every year wanting to be a part of it. But this year on the girls' side, we've got actually Whiteville is coming on both the boys and girls' side. It's nice to have somebody that's fairly close by. Hopefully they'll bring a good crowd with them. So they're coming on both the boys and girls' side, and the rest of the girls' field, Hoke County, Socastee out of South Carolina, and Huff High School from right outside of Charlotte. They were a very strong team last year. Got a lot of people coming back. And then on the boys' side, in addition to Whiteville, Ashbrook High School from Gastonia, and they're coached by Chad Duncan, who was the first basketball coach at Ashley. He coached there for several years. Lexington High School from South Carolina, and then the Bullis School from right outside of Baltimore, Maryland. So I think we've got some really solid teams coming in. Pretty balanced from the county as well this year, so it should be a very, very competitive tournament.
We should mention the dates: December 27, take the Sunday off, then come back on Monday, 29th and the 30th. Third year, you have the dynamic of, you've kind of merged what was a separate tournament for the girls into boys. I know you're playing at UNCW, 2 venues.
Right, we're using Trask Coliseum and Hanover Hall, the back gym there, and we play 2 games in Hanover and 6 in Trask each day. And we rotate it around a little bit so that everybody has an opportunity to play at least 1 game in Trask Coliseum. We rotate among the county who starts in Hanover Hall. We started there last year. New Hanover is playing their first game back there this year, and then Ashley and Laney will have their turns the next couple of years. And if you play in Hanover on the first day, then you're guaranteed to, to play in Trask on that second day.
Okay, we should mention there are scholarships that come out of this effort as well.
Right, that's one of the big purposes of the tournament, and each of the 8 New Hanover County teams, 4 boys and 4 girls, will get at least a $500 scholarship to go to one of their graduating seniors to use for college next year, depending on how the ticket sales go and sponsorships and all that kind of stuff. We hope to increase that as much as we can give, but it'll be at least a $500 scholarship given out.
We'll have the information up on the screen, but full tournament passes and individual passes are available.
Right. Full tournament pass is $25 for adults and $15 for students. A day pass is $10 for adults and $7 for students. So if you're planning on coming all 3 days, it's better to go ahead and buy that tournament pass at the beginning.
And if I want some information on the tournament, I know I can go to your basketball website that'll link to the tournament. Right.
The tournament website is being built through one of the Laney parents who runs Player Space is the name of the website, and I'm not exactly sure what the web address is going to be yet, but I know that we'll have a link on our Hoggard basketball website and hopefully the other the other schools, at least on their athletic site. I don't know if everybody has a basketball site, but at least on their athletic site, we'll have that up hopefully next week when that site gets completely built. As
a coach, thinking long term, the benefits of a tournament like this where you play back to back, because I would think it helps you at the end of the year.
It does. It's not exactly like the state playoffs because you usually get a day off, but sometimes in the regionals, you play on Friday and Saturday. So, trying to prepare for postseason where you don't have a lot of preparation time for an opponent. Tournaments like this can help, and any opportunity that you get to play for a title, to play for a championship, it's important. And for anybody that knew Coach Brogdon, which I had the opportunity to spend time with him when he was still alive, and anybody that knows him, it's a special tournament that is named for him, and we haven't ever won it at Higher. We've played in the finals 4 or 5 times, and it's something that's very important to us, and hope that one day we can win that tournament. And I think it is a very important tournament to the teams in town, and as we talked about earlier, people from out of town enjoy coming. We put them up in good hotels, and several hotels partner with us and donate rooms for the tournament for the teams that are coming in, and so it's a good experience for everybody. Even those of us that don't get to travel, you're still together for 3 days, and you usually learn a whole lot about your team during that time.
Great opportunity to support area high school basketball. Information on the screen. Again, the tournament dates, the 27th, the 29th, and the 30th, and tickets will be available at the door all 3 days. That's our program for this time through. When we come back next week, we'll take a look at highlights from that Scotland County Hogger game and hopefully look forward to week number 4. We'll see you next time on Sports Roundtable.